This holiday season, believe in more. Donate $25 now through December 25th and receive the n-Lorem Believe Ornament, our gift to you. Believe in possibility. Believe in science. Believe in more. Happy holidays from the n-Lorem Foundation.
Hello again, and welcome to the n-Lorem podcast series, the only podcast series devoted exclusively to the needs of Nano-Rare patients and families. I'm Stan Crook. I'm the founder and chairman and CEO of n-Lorem, and I'm your host on the podcast series. One of the many privileges that I've enjoyed since founding n-Lorem is the number of people I've met who have no loved one afflicted with a Nano-Rare mutation or disease, that is, have no stake in this process, yet who have responded to the needs of these patients and families by giving of themselves in so many different ways. And in response to that, we established what we call Hero Awards. And the grand prize is a letter from me, which ain't much, but at least it's of some recognition. And today we have as our special guest one of those heroes, Natacha Gassenbach, who is Senior Vice President of Corporate Affairs and Chief Communication Officer at Biogen. Biogen has been a supporter of n-Lorem from the very first day and continues to be a strong supporter today. And I can very clearly say that we would not be here and doing as well as we are without the support of Biogen. So, Natacha, welcome. It's very nice to see you again.
Well, thank you. I'm very honored to be here and to be a partner with n-Lorem. I think Richard said very well when we received the award. There is the true hero are the people that are working at n-Lorem, are the family, and this is the inspiration for the work we do and the partnership with n-Lorem. So thank you for inviting me today.
Well, look forward to our chat. Look forward to all of our interactions. So, of course, you're also responsible, Philip, for the foundation, the Biogen Foundation, and the philanthropic contributions that Biogen makes. So you have a fairly broad purview, but you also have, I'm sure, like every other source of funds, extraordinary numbers of demands. And I'm intrigued by how you make the decisions at Biogen to where you will invest the dollars that you have to invest, and why n-Lorem justifies that kind of support.
Yes, and I think it's back to history first, Stan, and I think the history starts with you and Ionis and Biogen. I think Biogen and Ionis that you found before n-Lorem have been partners since I think 2012. And I think there was another agreement signed in 2018. And I think together with Ionis and the technology you invented, I think together we developed the first treatment for SMA, a miracle drug, frankly, the first treatment for ALS. So when you founded n-Lorem, I think, our commitment, was obvious since day one that we want to continue to partner with you and, build more success. And with SMA and ALS, we're able to serve hundreds of patients globally, but we don't have solution for those unique patients. And n-Lorem give us that opportunity to give back to this community and to partner with you.
Yeah. So it is, of course, a corporate commitment and a personal commitment, and you've also invested a lot of personal time in this, and you've gone through a CEO change, and yet the funding continued throughout that, and the strong support continued. So how'd you do it?
I think, with n-Lorem, it's first of all, I think Biogen is a small organization, so we work very closely with the patient advocacy group. We work very closely with many patients. We know the patient by names. We meet with them on a regular basis, and with n-Lorem, it's even more close to us. We sponsored the first colloquium. I think it was 3 years ago, and during the event, we met the patient, we met their family, we heard about their story, we look at their drawings. It's become personal. And recently someone said, an advocate in rare disease said, it's rare until it touches you. And once you have met those patients and those family, then it's become personal. And it was very easy to convince our new CEO to be part of the journey, because it's so close to our mission of helping patients with rare disease, but also to engage and to be able to have an impact to those family and patients. And I think what is beautiful with n-Lorem, and I'm so impressed, I think you gave a voice to the community. And once you have a voice, then you become unstoppable, because then you can manage change, then you can drive policy, you can advocate, and I'm so impressed by that work, because you want also to sponsor and partner with organizations that are successful. And what I think is successful with n-Lorem is you are not only helping individual patients, but you can drive change that can make the nano-rare disease community more attractive for other investors. So I think that's, I believe in the long term, we are building something better for this community.
Well, I think you're right. And I believe that from the get-go, but I'm more confident that we're going to get there today than I was even a few months ago. And so that's great. And of course, sponsoring the colloquium is, very much appreciated. And this year we've grown exponentially. The first one we had in Biogen, and it was small enough that we could do that. The last two we've had at the Marriott there that you support, and the growth of the participation, both in person and on remotely, has been wonderful. A testament to the fact that we're doing something worthwhile, I think, and of course we couldn't do it without Biogen. So and we're thrilled that you're going to continue to support that, and of course you've sat through those, and they are different from many meetings that we attend, right?
Yeah, I think what is remarkable is really about the ability of your team to really explain the science simply, because it's complex science. And I'm always impressed year after year. I'm seeing in this meeting, and like the ability to translate the complex process that goes into drug development, from the preclinical studies to the toxicology studies before we inject a loved one. And I think that your team does that remarkably well. And then you hear the family talking about their experience, and how small change can improve so much the quality of life of the patient who are treated, and also their family. It's I love watching the video. The video for me are the most powerful. And this little girl there being able to put her shoes by herself. I mean, it's such an important moment. As a mother, of course, I can only relate to those moments, and the colloquium make it very special because the family shared those moments with all of us.
Yeah, it's deeply scientific and medical, and deeply personal and deeply emotional. I like to describe n-Lorem as an exercise of the brain informed by the heart. And, we've been, you and I, in this industry for a long time. And I think you probably strongly agree with me that most of the people in the industry are here because we care about patients. But it does often seem like the abstractions of the science, medicine, and business sort of separate people from the joy of the mission. And I've been impressed over the years that Biogen works hard to bring the mission home to Biogen employees. And how do you look at that effort? Do you see that as just one part of your way to motivate your employees, or?
Yeah, I think it's really part of the DNA. I have to say, I did work for big company. I worked for Novartis before, and I still think that even at Novartis, we have this commitment to patient. But when you come to a company like Biogen, it's also the size of the organization. Because you are so small, like, we were 6,000 employees versus 60,000 or 100,000 for those big pharma company. The proximity to the impact you have is much stronger, and the connection. I think it's also to the DNA of our leadership team. When you work on a big organization, sometimes you need to speak to 5 or 6 people before you can speak to the CEO. Here at Biogen, I can say, Stan is here. He's willing to have a coffee with you. Would you find 10 minutes in your agenda? And Chris does it. So I think the size of the organization make it more agile and flexible. And I think most importantly, if we look at our values and how we try every day to put patient at the center of everything we do. And I think many companies say it. Sometimes it's not easy to do it. I have to say we have a management team that is very strong about making sure that when we make decision, we put patient at the center of the decision we are making. And sometimes this require that you have a strong vision from your board and your management to chart the course and to keep on the right direction, because we can be very quickly and easily distracted.
Yes. And there are many distractions and many opportunities to go awry. And we've seen plenty of those over the decades. And
this episode of the n-Lorem Patient Empowerment Program podcast is proudly sponsored by Hanjin Biotech. With more than 26 years of experience in the nucleic acid industry, Hanjin is a specialized CDMO and raw material supplier, committed to providing high-quality and high-value products and services with the best-in-class lead times. This episode of the n-Lorem Patient Empowerment Program podcast is graciously sponsored by ChemGenes, where advancing science is their purpose and helping people is their passion. Since 1981, ChemGenes has been redefining the boundaries of scientific discovery, development, and commercialization by manufacturing and supplying the broadest range of nucleic acid chemistries available in today's market.
I know that you've used the relationship with n-Lorem as part of that patient-centered focus, several times that I'm aware of. Has that mattered? Do you think that's an important thing at Biogen?
Yes, I think the other piece that is important at Biogen, and I think it's also very close to n-Lorem, and we tackle things that are difficult. We often been the first one in pioneering new science. SMA is a good example. We're the first one. ALS, we were the first one. Alzheimer, we were the first company, and it was a quite challenging journey. I think Biogen historically has been really seeking to tackle the most difficult disease, something that has never done before. And to some extent, this is very close to what n-Lorem is doing. You have done something that nobody else has done. Like, even people would have not believed it would have been even possible, treating one patient at a time. And so I think that's another commonalities between Biogen and n-Lorem, is we are not necessarily taking the easy way. We are trying to really focus on where are the needs and how can we make a difference, and even if it's challenging to do so.
Well, we're certainly making a difference together for these patients and families that we call Nano-Rare. And, I find the interactions I have at n-Lorem very much like practicing medicine again. I can't begin to describe how much that matters to me. And of course, you have, having been an MD, having taken care of patients, at least for me, it's such a special privilege to be in a position with that kind of trust and responsibility. And of course, n-Lorem just it takes that and exaggerates it more. But you don't have to be a physician to feel that.
Yeah, I really feel part of what n-Lorem has created. I was reflecting before we talk is like, for me, it's like a movement for Nano-Rare. And if you think what we have been able to achieve in rare disease, like since the Orphan Drug Act, I think more than 600 medicine has been developed. And so maybe we can do the same for ultra rare disease. And if I look at what you have been able to do with ALS and Colombia, and there is this Silence ALS initiative, and today we saw the announcement from FDA, and we don't know yet if it can apply to us and what is good. But it seems that you have created a movement, and every year you have more people at the colloquium, and then there is maybe a policy change here, and maybe I met with a Japanese doctor that is interested to do something like n-Lorem in Japan. So it's like you have created a movement that can potentially really change the way we look at ultra rare disease in 10 years. And then on top of that, you have the evolution of the science. And I'm not a scientist by any means, but maybe it would be easier to diagnose disease. And maybe you can have your genetic testing done for cheaper. And if there is some drug available on shelf, but like this whole idea of precision medicine maybe can one day in 20 years can become a reality. So, but I do think it started because you created that movement.
Thank you. Well, I feel it too. I'm amazed at the pace of change at the FDA. I was shocked at the guidance that we work under issued so rapidly, and that included most of the suggestions I made and during the public commentary phase. And the behavior of the various divisions of the FDA had been, so supportive. I mean, they do their job, and we get plenty of questions, and we have to deal with a lot of, questions that the FDA raises. That's their job. But the attitude is very patient-centered. And how do we make this work, not how do we keep it from working? And now there seems to be a much broader movement, much earlier than I expected, to find commercial solutions for this extremely rare patient population. That's very exciting.
I completely agree, because that would be the ultimate success.
Mm-hmm.
That is becoming a place where you see more investment, so people develop more drug for more patient, and I'm excited about that too.
And of course, we're learning not just about these patients, not just about very rare diseases, but we're learning about health and disease altogether. And I'm wondering, has there been conversations in Biogen about how you take advantage of what we're learning in this patient population, which is really unique, to begin to think about targets that make sense for the more common diseases?
Yeah, I do think, we, as you know, we are very close to ASO. This is a technology in which we believe. We continue to invest in our pipeline in ASO. We have, something for Dravet syndrome. So we really believe in that technology. And I know our research team, and we're trying to get a meeting on your calendar, actually, with our head of research to talk more about the data from n-Lorem. So it's certainly, it's scientifically, there is a lot of value in the work you're doing to inform the work we are doing. And also the history with the data we have.
That'll be very interesting. I mean, as a case study for the industry of how to translate information in a unique patient population into the sort of fabric of drug discovery for the larger diseases, I think is going to be something that is an extraordinary opportunity.
I agree. And AI is also opening a ton of opportunity with modelization. So I think it's a little bit I think we're just scratching the surface. I believe there is much more opportunity to come based on leveraging the work you have been doing and all the data you have combined.
Yeah. Well, do you or the folks at Biogen have advice for us how we should do things better in the coming days?
I know you don't like to hear that, but you're an inspiration for us. That's the other way around. I think when we look at the work you do, when we look at your personal journey, the impact you have with those patients is actually motivate all of us at Biogen to continue to research to help more patients. And I know many people in your organization love for us to be a partner for n-Lorem, have a sense of pride of being partner of n-Lorem, want to come to the colloquium and just continue what you do. You're an inspiration for all of us.
That's nice of you to say. And it's easy to do. The beauty of a wonderful mission is it's a wonderful mission. You don't have to embellish it. It's just the right thing to do.
And it's so great to interact with the parents. I have to say, I'm always like every time we meet with those family, I came back and then I want to advocate for more money for n-Lorem. And so I think those conversations, it's just, and I have to tell you, I think every time I speak to, EC members, I think we always want to find solutions. So I think n-Lorem is very close to the heart of Biogen people.
Well, it's good to hear. Anything I haven't asked you that I should have, or that you'd like to just leave with our families who are listening to this?
I want to share, the admiration I have for this family and for their courage to share their story, to be there for their children, to advocate for their children. I do hope the work we do in the US can one day be helpful for other countries in the world. You can hear I'm not typically from Boston. I came from France. I came from Europe, and I wish we can do more. We can help more patients outside the United States.
So do we. We're working hard at it. It's just a matter of demand and money. But we're working hard at it, and with Biogen's support and continuing support from so many others, I think we're going to get there, and we're going to get there sooner rather than later. And of course, that's going to be another great day when we can point to people we're helping in Europe and Japan and the Middle East and Asia. There is every hope to get that done here in the near term. So thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to thank your team. You have a fantastic team. It's a pleasure to work with each of them.
It's the mission. When I founded n-Lorem, I was really worried I wouldn't be able to recruit people. But we've got an outstanding team. They get better every day. And they're here for the mission. And that when you have a great mission and you can cohere a group to that mission, and it's as tangible and impactful as ours is, it makes for a really strong organization. And you already know that at Biogen. That's among the things you do in your organization naturally, right? Yeah. Well, you are a hero. And you've gotten your letter and you've gotten your hug, and that's about it.
The hug was my favorite part. Remember, I put my letter aside to give you a big hug.
Okay. Thanks, Natacha.
Thank you.
All the help, and I'm sure our patients and families appreciate the great generosity of Biogen and yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
n-Lorem is a nonprofit committed to discovering and providing personalized experimental treatments for free for life to patients with genetic diseases that affect 1 to 30 patients worldwide, referred to by n-Lorem as Nano-Rare. Many of these patients progress and die without ever achieving a diagnosis. This is where n-Lorem comes in. They do the impossible by providing hope, and for those that they can help, free lifetime treatment. For more information about n-Lorem or today's episode, visit n-Lorem.org. Any questions can be sent into podcast@n-Lorem.org. Search n-Lorem on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook to connect with us. This video is hosted by Dr. Stan Crook and produced with the help of the following professionals. Thank you for watching.